Lenny.
Hi, Nancy.
Welcome to episode 113 of the Front Porch Book Club.
The Front Porch Book Club is a podcast that meets twice a month.
We like to dig deep into the relationship between characters and the worlds they live in.
Grab your book and iced tea and join us on the front porch.
Lenny, this month we are going to talk about Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. But first, I want to hear about your latest acting gig.
Well, it was one of those things that I applied for, and it was like 2 days away. So it wasn't a lot of time to really even think about it. But it was outside of D.C. It was a courtroom scene.
Oh.
And I'm sitting behind the defendant.
And so was this a movie?
Yes, this was a feature film.
Okay.
It seemed to me like it would be on a Lifetime channel or something.
Okay.
It was called When Fatal Attraction Hits Home.
Oh, that does sound like Lifetime. Yes. Excellent. How long did the shoot take?
Call time was like 2:15, and then we got done around 7.
Okay.
It's a lot of waiting around because there were a lot of court scenes and things. I think I would have been at the preliminary hearing.
Okay.
Bail was set. It was very quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a lot of other scenes in that courtroom, but that was the one that I needed to be an audience for.
So when you watch movies, do you pay more attention to the background actors now?
I do.
Now, after all your gigs? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe at some point I'll get like a agent and go on more gigs. And
yeah.
So we'll see.
That's great. I love it.
It was just fun. House of Cards gets done down there. So the one guy was an extra a lot of time on House of Cards.
Okay. I do think about people who are extras in these films, especially if they're at a fancy gala or something, and you think, wow, did they have to scrounge in their own closet to find their fanciest outfit and fancy jewelry and then stand around and look like they're fancy people?
Yeah. And because House of Cards was down there and I was talking to this guy about it, I was looking at it today online, and someone posted about being an extra on House of Cards, what my day was like.
Oh, interesting.
It was a fancy affair at the White House, and they did the wardrobe for her.
Oh, okay.
And got her all fancied up with custom jewelry and the gown and the hair and all of that.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much money the production has, whether they ask the extras to just come dressed with their own clothing and do their own hair and makeup, or whether they're able to provide that for the extras.
Yeah. The first one I did is like bring a couple of choices. Mm-hmm. So with this one, knowing it was court, I thought maybe this is a couple different days. So I did take a couple different tops.
Okay.
I look at posts all the time and it says, wanted, people who have tuxedos and look good in them. You know?
Okay.
People who have white gowns. So they get what they get.
I feel like the last 2 gigs have found you in your element, church, because you are a churchgoer.
Yeah.
And now court, and you've spent a lot of time in courtrooms.
Well, I have in the past, yes. Yeah. It was very easy for me to be there.
For sure.
I looked at the attorney, then I looked at the defendant, then I looked at the judge, then I looked at the attorney. I can do all of that.
Amazing.
It's just amazing. And try not to, because I'm background, try not to draw attention to myself. Like, you don't want to overact. You just want to keep it kind of neutral and be part of the background.
Oh, I love it.
Anyway, I made a friend. Here's the sweet story. I wanted to share this with you.
Okay.
Her sister was with her.
Oh.
And her sister had a speaking part and was paid. And this isn't her first gig. And she brought her sister along. Her sister applied to be an extra so her sister could come and support her sister, who was one of the attorneys.
I love it.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Because, you know, her sister was very busy.
Yes.
And so her sister had to go get her suit on, and her sister was in the courthouse room a lot more than what we were. She had lots of scenes, and she was defending this person, and she was very, very good. So her sister was hanging out, and this was her first gig. And
Oh.
so we were talking anyway. I said, I just love the fact that you're doing this with your sister. And I said, I have a podcast with my sister. She asked me questions about it. And then she said, what was your last book? And I told her Half of a Yellow Sun.
Uh-huh.
She said, I have not heard that book. And I said, well, you may have heard of Chinua Achebe's book. And she said, oh, now I've heard of that one.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, this is then in the 1960s, what happens to that group of people. And so anyway, I said, but you can go on our Facebook and listen to it. And so she brought us up and she got our website and she liked us.
Oh, nice.
She's following us now and said she would listen to our talks on those books.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, but I love the fact that she was there with her sister.
We should do that sometime. Sometime when I'm out there visiting, if you have a gig, I'll apply for it too. And we can do it together.
Oh, well, yes. And if we go to New York, you know, they have all sorts of stuff up there.
That's right.
In New Jersey. They are really busy in New York.
But that would be fun to do a trip to New York and have one of the days be, hey, we're going to be extras.
Yeah.
Aha. That sounds like a plan.
Come visit me.
I think it's time.
Please do.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This book is basically a romantic comedy in book form. Rachel is an economics prof and her boyfriend Nick is a history prof at NYU. When Nick invites Rachel to accompany him on a trip back to Singapore, where he'll be the best man for his friend's wedding, Rachel finds out Nick is not just wealthy, but crazy rich. So rich that other rich people haven't heard about him. And Rachel is faced with culture shock, jealousy, prejudice, suspicion, and betrayal as she tries to figure out whether Nick is still the man of her dreams.
Oh, this is typically not a book that we pick for our reads.
No
rom-com usually.
No, we usually don't do it. And
this is definitely one of those beach read, summer romance kind of things. But it's very different because we get to learn about the super, super rich, wealthy Asians. We spend most of our time in Singapore, a little bit of time in the United States, but we're exposed to a culture and a people unlike anything else.
So you love a good romance. Is this the kind of book that you might typically pick up?
Well, no.
Okay.
And I will tell you that the romances that I pick up, I think they're more like girl meets boy. They fall in love, or at least are interested, but then something happens and there's tension and then it resolves at the end. These two are already a couple.
Yeah.
So you don't have that boy meets girl thing. They're already very serious. They're a year into the relationship. They are solid. They love each other. And actually, she thinks she might be proposed to on this trip initially. So they're in a very serious relationship. But it was enjoyable for me to read. It was, look, we had to be in the Biafran War last month. This was easy. Yeah. This was enjoyable. Oh, this wonderful dish. Oh, let me try on this wonderful outfit. Oh, this 20 karat gold, whatever. Yeah, this is all really easy read for me and enjoyable. You typically don't read the romance.
I do
not. So what did you think?
Yeah, I would say that I did not super enjoy this book.
Okay.
There just wasn't enough of a interesting plot line for me. There's a certain path that a romance takes. Now, you're right. This is a little different than a lot of romances in that they're already in a relationship. It's not whether or not they'll get together. It's whether or not they will stay together. But there just isn't a lot of character development, really. It concludes a little too easily for me. Oh, everything's fine. All of those barriers that seem to be barriers, they just melt away. I did not particularly love reading about the super wealthy because I just found all of the characters extremely superficial people who cared about things I don't care about. And they spend obscene amounts of money on things that I don't care about. And I kept thinking of all the other ways that money could be spent and put to better use than the ridiculous lives they read. So for me, it was a little more of a struggle to get my way through it.
Interesting. So, Nance, I do agree with what you said with would they stay together? But that was near the very end of the book. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't much of an estrangement there. They came together pretty quickly again.
Yeah.
But I thought, because our podcast has to do a lot with culture and people.
Yeah.
To me, there was a crazy amount of wealth.
Yeah.
But I would say the main character is Rachel, right?
Yes.
We're seeing it through her eyes. Mm-hmm. So it looks crazy rich. Like, why would you spend that amount of money on that outfit or that jewelry? Mm-hmm. That's a place I can put my wealth, and I'll put it in the bank, and then I'll take it out once in a while and I'll show it off at this event or that event. Mm-hmm. Also, the thing that struck me was the culture that they have. There was certainly a lot of classism.
Yes.
There was, surprisingly for me, a lot of racism that was peeking out throughout this book.
Yep.
A lot, depending on where you lived.
Right.
But this family, and Nick, he's from that area, and we're going back to his hometown. Their culture is about family and not individualism. Mm-hmm. And so from this family type environment, from there, it seems to get to the place where it's okay for classism or racism, even though it's never okay.
Right.
But because it's the family empire, you can see how these ugly messages come in because, well, our family and our legacy and where we want for our children is that you marry this type of person or from this area or from this class, because our legacy, our empire, and our money is going to continue to go down through the ages.
Right.
And so you kind of see, as a culture, I always thought, it's really kind of neat that there's other cultures like the Asian culture that it's very family oriented and not so individualistic as we are in America. Like, you do what you want to do, but you see that being a part of that culture has some weaknesses too.
One thing I did like about the book is how the author played with that notion of marrying for love. And what if you're marrying for love and it goes against your culture or your family wishes? And there are a couple examples of this throughout the book. Notably, his beloved cousin Astrid, who is also crazy rich, marries Michael, who is very middle class. And their marriage has problems because of this. Astrid agrees to live in a apartment that is very modest, more in line with what Michael can afford. But she has all of these properties and this income that she has coming in from her family's businesses. So she's able to buy wardrobes, jewelry, travel, do all kinds of things that are well beyond what he could ever provide. This is a problem for him. Astrid believes she finds out that he's having an affair. Michael eventually does admit that he cannot keep up with the kind of wealth that her family provides her and that they treat him poorly because he's not wealthy, right, and he wants out. So there is a template, I think, of what Rachel and Nick might be looking at. Here is a relationship like theirs, someone fabulously wealthy, someone from a very middle-class background, and Astrid and Michael are not working out. We have another cousin, Eddie, who brings a soap opera star, and the family is aghast because he is dating an actress, so someone from a different class. and they cannot understand. So it's interesting that there are these relationships that are outside the family bounds that the author does portray and portrays them not working out. So we have Nick's best friend, Colin. He's marrying Araminta Lee, who is a model and apparently comes from at least a wealthy family, not quite of their class, but a wealthy family. So she's still not quite as wealthy as everyone would like. And so the family kind of looks down on her family, but they clearly have cracks in their relationship as well. So even a super wealthy person marrying a wealthy person, there's questions about taste and will they get along and who's marrying who for what reason. So that part of the book was interesting, looking at these relationships and them all looking pretty flawed, honestly, except for Nick and Rachel, because it's a romance, who had ultimately a perfect relationship, and it was really just a misunderstanding, and they are meant for each other.
Okay. Yeah, maybe a little superficial there at the end.
Well, and can I just say that the other difficult relationship is Nick's parents.
Yes.
And Nick's dad marries down to Nick's mom, Eleanor. And because of this, Eleanor basically allows her mother-in-law to raise Nick. Her mother-in-law does not like her because she's not the right class, but she basically allows her mother-in-law to raise Nick so Nick will have all of the benefits of being her heir.
Yeah. Strategic planning.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Not all of the super wealthy care about the classism and the jewelry and all of that. Mm-hmm. Like Nick's dad, I'm going to live in Australia.
Right.
Live on the beach, relax.
Yeah.
He is turned off by all of this wealth and showy stuff. And he likes Rachel just fine.
Yeah.
So it does seem that there are some characters that are a part of that highest class that are not defined by it. They make their own rules and decide what their values are. They just have a lot of money.
Yeah. And I should say that I do believe that this is a total satire. And so we are supposed to find them ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as you say, we're seeing this through Rachel's eyes. And so it is outrageous. There are little footnotes throughout the book that are very funny and snarky. This is not a straight story either. It's a complete satire. These are outsized characters doing outsized things.
Right. In that culture, you want to have your son marry the right person. I can kind of see me. Now, I want to do it maliciously like they are. They're being ruthless.
Yeah.
But you do want your children to marry the right people. I want my son to marry the right person. Somebody who makes them happy. But I don't care how much money that person has.
Okay, but do you think you know better than your son?
Maybe.
Who is...
Because I know him so well. Like, I can see arranged marriages to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think I can make this happen.
Uh-huh.
I think I know who a good partner would be for my son.
Well, certainly from a parental standpoint, you can understand if you believe your child is marrying someone who will not make them happy, you might want to try to dip your oar into that conversation.
And that's where these ladies are, Nance.
Yeah, but
she's American and her culture's different and her values are different and she doesn't come from money. Who are her people? Where did they live? Where did they come from? What kind of DNA does she have? Because that's their culture. So I kind of get it. I don't think it's good to have planned marriages. I'm just going to go out there and say that. It's better to fall in love with. But I understand it. Mm-hmm. Or even like in the Jewish culture, there's more of a matchmaking. Yeah, you still have to kind of fall in love and you get to choose. Like, I understand that because then your family knows each other and You know, that you have the same religion and the same view of having children, and all of those things are already decided. You just need to know if you're compatible or not.
Here's the thing. If this book was a interesting exploration of planned marriages versus marriages of love, that would be one thing. But that is not a serious theme of this book.
Okay. No, I guess not. It's a beach read. And really, it's for women, I think.
Totally for women.
Yeah, because the women are the manipulators. They're the ones who are behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
They're the ones trying to figure out, what is their next move going to be? How can I manipulate and move and scheme and all of this kind of stuff?
And you think even Colin's best friend, he likes Rachel too. It's like some of the men seem to be immune to this worry or concern about Rachel's parentage, her class, her country of origin. They see her as a person. She seems really great. Hey, she's smart. She's a good match for Nick. It really is the women who are manipulative and scheming. And maybe that is actually another thing, now that we're talking about it, that I really disliked about this book. This trope of women being manipulative and scheming behind the scenes. And then these really mean friends of Araminta's at the bachelorette party that they go away to some island and they leave a gutted fish on her bed because they're jealous because Nick is so dreamy and they'd all like to be Nick's fiance. Well, whatever. Their lives are pretty sad if that is what they decide to do to this woman.
Yeah. This college professor.
They're very grasping, greedy people.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The women, not all of them, because Astrid certainly married down. She could care less.
That's right.
And Rachel's college roommate, she is wealthy, but she doesn't ever look down at Rachel either.
Right.
I can see why he wants to get away from them, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, my goodness. I can too. He meets Rachel, who is smart and kind, has a great relationship with her mom, has friends, just so well balanced.
Yeah. And maybe he's seeing his culture differently when he sees the trouble that Rachel has in that culture with the women who have been mean to her. He kind of is looking at this through different eyes and seeing how petty it is.
It takes him a while to figure it out.
Yeah, it does.
But he does. Yeah.
I would like to see the mother come around a bit instead of them having to just scurry off to New York, because that's where they work better as a couple and there's not that family tension.
Yeah.
Rachel is a smart cookie, but you have those insecurities. She definitely has her ground shaken a bit. She hangs tough at the beginning, but it wears on her as this week goes on and these events happen to her. But I do like Nick. I think he is a great boyfriend for her. And that he does remain supportive.
Yeah. Well, all right. Very good. I'll tell you, it was a different book, and I appreciate that you often read different books for our podcast than you would typically read. And so this was an example of me reading a different kind of book than I would typically read. And so I enjoyed our conversation about it as well. It made me think a little more deeply about it, about what I liked and what I didn't like. And I appreciated that as well.
That's fair enough, Nancy.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Drop us a note and let us know what you thought of the book. You can send us a note through our website, frontporchbookclub.com, or post on Facebook or Instagram as well.
Our episodes come out twice a month on the first and third Wednesday of each month.
See you next time, Lenny.
See ya.